Good morning, I'm sitting here with Lowy still, and he is still the Director of Printer Software at Zebra. One of the things I want to ask is, I hear from partners is that they have questions on printer management. What are the different options for printer management? What one should they maybe utilize at what time?
And what gives
I'm doing a bad job asking that.
And what gives with all the options, right?
What gives? What gives? Yeah.
And what gives with all the options is not a bad thing to ask. So, when we look at LinkOS, and with LinkOS again, we're always talking about the operating system, the SDK, and the apps that are built on top of that. One of the things we realized is that as people are moving these printers out into their environments, when I go back a few years ago, you and I would talk to folks in the ops world, right? Mm-hmm. Blue coats, ESD straps on the wrist, right? That still happens. You still talk to those folks. But increasingly, the intake of the printers, the management of the printers, the setup is an IT function. And IT people expect the printers to be just as manageable as every other device in the environment. And more than that, they expect them to be manageable in the same kinds of ways that they manage the other devices.
They have an expectation.
Exactly.
That's evolved, right? Okay.
And in some cases, they're using tools to manage, let's say, your laptop or your phone or other devices like mobile computers. And so they're looking at us and saying, hey, I want to manage everything on these single platforms, right? So it'd be great if there was one solution out there for doing device management, but the truth on the ground is there's a bunch of different solutions, and so we're trying to feed all those various needs and support all those various different contexts. So for example, I'll give an example on the screen here. So we've got support for SOTI.
All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the camera in.
Great.
And hopefully what I'll do is I can find a way to flip the image at post-production here, but I'm going to tap on that so you can see.
So we've got SOTI, and we're managing a whole series of LinkOS printers that are networked here in the SOTI environment, and we're getting data off of those printers. This is the same SOTI environment that people would use for managing computers and other devices. We've also got support for AirWatch. And again, we've got printers out there. We're getting a lot of data off of those devices. We're able to look at various settings, Wi-Fi, power, web link settings. The message here is that customers expect to be able to manage their devices from these platforms that they've known and grown used to working with. Now, that's sort of level one. Level two is customers sometimes want a very, very specific Zebra delivered tool. It's the one throat to choke approach, right? They want us to create a tool that goes very, very deep into the printers. And so for that reason, on top of the operating system, SDK, and apps, in some cases we support Moby, so Moby controlled by SOTI. In some cases we support AirWatch. In other cases we've also added a thing called Profile Manager Enterprise. And what that lets us do is get very, very deeply into the printer and manage it at a very, very deep level. I'll give a good example of real-time management. So this that we're looking at right now is actually a version of the app that's running out on the cloud, out on Amazon, and I've got a QLN printer here that's on our wireless network. I'm going to go ahead and cause an error on that printer. And you can see that goes from the wireless network up to this cloud-based application. I know about the error right away. I've got a listing here on the screen. I know what it was. I've got real-time access to what's going on with this printer across a secure connection to the cloud. Once I fix that error, of course, I'm going to know about it right away.
So this is basically connected through a couple different radio links, all things.
Yep. So what we've actually done.
Nothing direct connected to the app right now that's directed to the computer that's running this browser
Actually, what we've done is something a little bit tricky, and what we think is kind of more useful for customers. With the LinkOS printers, there's a secondary management channel that all this management traffic happens on. What that means in practical terms is we're not interfering with print. When we're managing things like SOTI and AirWatch and Profile Manager Enterprise, that's happening on a secondary channel that all that data goes across. On our primary channel, we give that over to print, so we're not impacting print or having any kind of influence over how print is working.
Do our competitors do that?
No. No, we think that we're still absolutely unique in that aspect. And it's one of the great things that we've been able to bake into the operating system. What's really nice about it is it all just works, and people don't notice that we're not doing anything to their print. They just get this great experience where they're seeing live real-time data coming off the printer, and they're getting print events that are happening on a regular basis, and that's all happening over a secure connection from the printer to the application. So if they want to do things like update security settings, they can be very comfortable doing that. That's happening over a direct, secure, and encrypted connection. And that's true if we're doing it over the printer to Profile Manager, or the printer to SOTI, or the printer to AirWatch.
Very interesting, very interesting. This is good. My arms are getting tired holding like this, so let's wrap this one up.
Yeah, what I'd like to do in our next video is we really need to look at, okay, so we've got all these device management tools that are out there, and we've got other tools like OVS and AVS. How do you choose?
Excellent, perfect. Leo, thanks for your time.
Thank you.